Hello, friends. Welcome into Minnesota Vikings Now. I am Tom Downey with all the latest on the Minnesota Vikings. We'll talk about Andrew Booth and some playoff picture odd stuff as well. Before we get going on today's show, we're going to spend some time on one position in particular. I have a good guess for it. What do you think right now is the biggest issue for the Minnesota Vikings? Could be coach, could be player, could be philosophy, overall position group. You can sound off for us in the comment section. But we're going to focus in on the kicker position, which producer Patrick, our Vikings fan, is at least a little bit worried about right now. He missed yet another extra point against the Patriots. He's now missed 5 extra points this season. Yeah, that should probably raise some red flags there. He's done fine on regular kicks, but he's also 1 of 6 from 50-plus yards in 2022. It was hyped as the breakout year for Greg Joseph. And I'm not sure that's really been the case so far in 2022. So today, some potential kicker replacements for Joseph. Please make note it is almost December. Not great options out there. Austin Seibert is first up here, the former Browns kicker. He's made 3 field goals, or I should say made 3 field goals versus the Vikings last year along in 52. Also, maybe more notably, spent 13 games with the Lions last year. The numbers are okay. They're not perfect. They're not elite. Of your feasibly gettable options in November, December, that's a decent one to consider. Number 2, Nick Sciba, who played at Wake and was not drafted, didn't really get much of a chance preseason, off-season wise, but he made 89% of his kicks at Wake Forest. If you're wondering, okay, 90%'s awesome, or I should say almost 90%. Why didn't he get a job? Career long was 49. If you don't have the leg, but coaches who often make the hires and decisions on kickers don't really want you all that much. Sam Ficken is number 3 up here. He's constantly been an injury replacement kicker over the years. He's currently on the Detroit Lions practice squad because injuries. He also hasn't been that great. 35 of 48 on field goals, 49 of 56 on extra points. A 3-year starter at Penn State. Also spent time with the LA Rams. Whenever Greg Julian got hurt, it was Sam Ficken's chance in LA. Number 4, this is a bit more veteran option. Aldrick Rosas, who has had issues off the field as he had a hit and run a couple years ago, but has had a chance in the NFL since then, chances I should say. 59 career games, at his best with the Giants several years ago, but has kind of cooled off a little bit since then. The stats are solid enough from that standpoint. Let's bring on then producer Patrick, who will, your thoughts on the kicking situation overall here.
I understand. I mean, obviously Greg Joseph has struggled this year. I just think with where this team is at the 9-2 record, all these guys would be okay options to go replace Greg Joseph, but none of them will really change the kicker position. I just don't want the drama. I think they're 9-2. I think you just ride with Greg Joseph, kind of shut your eyes and just kind of trust in him that he will figure it out. I get fans want him gone. I just don't know if I want the drama in the locker room with another kicker battle in Minnesota.
I mean, there's certainly never been any issues at all come playoff time of kickers not doing their job for Minnesota. Never been a problem there. What do you guys think, though? Should the Vikings cut Greg Joseph? It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, that's fine. While the ad plays, head down there and type in Y for yes or N for no at the pinned comment. Let's talk some Minnesota Vikings injury news now. Not great because it's injury stuff, right? That's never a good thing, despite how maybe unimpressive a player might have been. Ian Rappaport broke this earlier today, not that long ago. Vikings second-round cornerback Andrew Booth is having knee surgery today, with the decision to be made during surgery on which procedure is necessary. There is a chance Booth will miss the rest of the season, but that won't be evident until post-surgery. It's not good, by the way, that I would assume you don't know what the damage is because it's so inflamed. I don't have a great answer for how you don't know what you got to get there. Not a good sign there in terms of the injury standpoint. So very good chance Andrew Booth at least goes on IR for at least a little bit, much like Cameron Dantzler. Leaves them very thin at cornerback with the Caleb Evans, Chris Boyd, everyone's favorite corner in Minnesota. Duke Shelley, who's spent time with the Browns in the past, or the Bears, I should say, correction. The Vikings defense has not been great, and there's been some games as of late, most notably that Cowboys one, that's been like, that's not what we want on defense. I think Mac Jones had one of his best games of the year, if not his career, against the Vikings defense. The run D's been fine, but they've had a lot of problems allowing yards. The points have been lower. They've been able to make some takeaways, make some turnovers, helping that number out. But despite the great pass rush from Zadarius Smith, etc. this year, the coverage has not been great. Injuries a factor, but the Vikings defense has not had great success through the air. That could be a problem come playoff time when you probably draw a team like the Cowboys again, when you potentially draw a team like even the Commanders had some success through the air against Minnesota, although I don't believe in Taylor Heineke. There was one, he should have been picked on that one touchdown to Curtis Samuel. We can bring up producer Patrick here. That was an interception. The ref didn't just take him out on accident.
Tackled the guy.
It was on accident, but it was an interception. It's triple coverage, you know?
And with the Booth injury, I think this is more of a scheme thing than a personnel thing. Obviously, the Vikings cornerback group is nowhere near top 15 in the league. I'm not saying that. But I do think I want to see Ed Donatello be a little more aggressive. I understand he's got the soft zone concept. It's what he's been doing his whole career. But maybe with this personnel, bring a couple blitzes more here and there. Just be a little more aggressive because the DB room, it's not going to change this year.
Yeah.
You have Patrick Peterson and then a huge gap to your next corner.
At a certain point, it becomes about doing what you can to win right now.
Yes.
And adjusting your scheme to fit your player personnel a little better, even if that might be what he wants to do long term.
Yeah.
Might need some tweaks there because 32nd, 31st,
Not good.
that's not going to win playoff games. Now, the vibes have been great overall for Minnesota. Primetime Kirk Cousins worked out great against the Patriots. If you want the Vikings to keep winning football games, hit that subscribe button for us right now. While you're down there, check out the Vikings t-shirt combo sale. It's back. But chatsports.com/Vikings combo, the perfect gift this holiday season. Put on your own wish list or buy it for a family member, friend, whatever. Chatsports.com/Vikings combo. That is the t-shirt combo currently on sale. Links in the comments section and in the description. Before we go, some playoff picture scenarios. Normally when we're in Week 13, even when it was only a 17-game week schedule, there are not very many clinching scenarios. The Minnesota Vikings have a playoff clinching and division clinching scenario as we sit right now. Here is how your Minnesota Vikings can clinch a playoff spot. A win and a Detroit Lions. Imagine that. It's the Lions, not the Packers, not the Bears. They're already on the verge. They're already on the verge of being eliminated. The Bears have been from the division race. A win and a Lions loss/tie, or, and I hate tie scenarios. I hate that you put it in here. I see it for myself. Tie and the Lions lose, and at that point, the Vikings are going to officially clinch a playoff spot. From a reality standpoint, they're going to win the division. It would take a collapse of unbelievable, just ridiculousness of losing Jets, Lions, Colts, Giants, Packers, Bears. You're not going to go 0-6 on the stretch. The Vikings will become the NFC North champions. Now, there are some playoff chances out there right now. 99% chance to both make the playoffs and win the division. It is a 16% chance they'll end up getting the number one seed in that first round bye. Now, there's a bunch of different sites. I like to use the New York Times one so things can kind of ebb and flow from that standpoint. A 66% chance at the number 2 seed, by the way. And that factors in, like, how much you're favored by, etc. So it does assume some wins there. About a 20% chance for the 3 seed. And to get the 4 seed, you're looking at, like, a 1% chance. Super Bowl odds, 6% right now, so a bit of a gap there. But Minnesota is a playoff team this year. Don't talk yourself into anything otherwise. It's a matter of, can you get that number 1 seed? We'll spend some more time on that in the future. But what do you guys think for this week? Is this the week the Minnesota Vikings clinch the NFC North? Type in C for they clinch it or DC for they don't clinch it. I think they're going to this week. I think they will find a way to get the win. The Jets, I know, have been playing, pretty good football. The Lions, by the way, for those of you wondering, are hosting the Jags. Jags went off a nice win there. I bet the Jags win and the Vikings win, and Minnesota secures themselves that at minimum number 4 seed, a home playoff game. Probably will end up being 3 or 2. Or worst case, they're not going to get the 4 seed. Probably 2 when it's all said and done. But sound off for me. C for clinch or DC for don't clinch in the comment section.